There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. Well, welcome everyone to my 10 a.m. practicing live. I'm back, and I'll be back every morning until I think I said January 19th. The actual concert is January 20th. So I'm going to be privately doing my thing the day of the concert. And I can't remember if I talked about this yesterday, but basically I looked at my list of all the problem spots that I had, and well, let me back up. I was just reviewing my notes from my class on how to practice with Molly Gebrian, and she had this great technique she called the traffic light technique. And you go through your piece, or in my case, my program, and mark, you kind of grade things. So if you have a shorter piece, you can actually color in your score. And so if it's green, that means it's in good shape. You're not worried. It'll go fine. Yellow means it's a little tentative, but it'll probably be okay. And red means it's potential for serious humiliation. And so I think it was 2 days ago, I got in touch with the red zone, and the red zone is basically the last piece on my program, this Chopin Scherzo, Opus number 4. It's the hardest by a long shot, and it's also really long, and I'm playing it from memory because I cannot play it with the iPad because it goes too fast, and it's very distracting when you have to move your foot to turn the page. And also it's going a lot in different octaves. So if I'm having to, I use my feet to get my body into these different octaves, and if my foot has to go find the page turning pedal, that messes up all of my choreography for playing it. So anyway, I'm saying all that because I would rather play it with the iPad, but it's not possible. So today I am going to play through my 2 hardest pieces right now, the Chopin Impromptu Opus 29 number 1 A flat major and the Scherzo all the way through, and see how it goes. So I'm a little nervous because I don't like making mistakes in front of people, and it's likely, I would say it's 100% certain that I will make some mistakes. Hopefully they will not be super obvious. And this is something I have done in the past to prepare for performances. Is in the morning when it's just my worst time, I play through whatever I'm polishing up or concerned about. Usually I would record it on my phone. In this case, the Instagram hopefully will be recording it for me. The lives have been stopping all the time. And then I can go back to my page and download the live and listen to it later in the day. And the reason I like to record it, well, 2 things. Sometimes I hear musical things that I'm like, oh, that sounds great, or that sounds blah. So I hear things I don't notice when I'm actually playing. And the other thing is when I'm listening to the recording and looking at the score, because that's what I do, and I mark on my score. Sometimes I see things in the score that I didn't see before ever. I've had that happen many times. I'm like, wow, look at that. I'm looking at the score for, I don't know, months or years, and I never noticed a certain thing, a mark usually. And so I find out new things from doing it, which I really like. And then the other part of it is I think it strengthens my mental concept, or I don't know what you want to call it, neurological, understanding of the piece in my head when I'm combining the listening with the looking, where I don't have the kinesthetic going on. So like my brain is not busy doing the kinesthetic, so I can focus on these other 2 sensory modalities, and I think that strengthens my sense of the piece. Alrighty, enough procrastinating here. Okay. So my goals for this particular piece, don't go too fast. I'm experimenting with some new pedalings that I saw in the score, or resaw, that I hadn't noticed before. They're Chopin's pedalings, and so I'm going to try to do those in certain spots. It's hard to change a habit like that, but I'll try. and then of course memory and not forgetting. Mostly that was in the middle section. Okay. Well, that was much better than yesterday. Instagram cut me off right in the middle. Okay, well, we'll just try again. Fortunately, YouTube is still there, so maybe I can just watch it on YouTube. I mean, I know I can. Yeah, so that was a lot better than my run through yesterday. I don't remember if I did it the day before. A little rocky on the start. I always have trouble starting that piece. I'm not totally sure why, but obviously I need to work on that. And probably I would do that. One way I could do it is set a timer, and then like every 10 minutes, I try starting the piece. And certainly continuing to do what I'm doing now, which is to start it in the morning without having practiced any of it in advance. Okay, I'm just gonna try again on Instagram. Oh, it looks like it says it's live, but the camera isn't moving, so who knows what they're doing over there. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off and discard. Okay, and let me try again. Live. Okay, start. Okay, maybe they just don't like me anymore. Okay, so that now I'm going to play the Chopin Impromptu. Excuse me, Scherzo, number 4. I think at my tempo it's like 13 minutes. Other people who play faster, it's obviously shorter. Okay. So I'd say my goals are to keep on top of the memory, hopefully not have any obvious memory problems, and try to remember the things that I need to remember to execute the parts that are the most difficult for me successfully. So we'll see how it goes. Wow, that was really good that I did that. Um, all kinds of stuff happens when I'm playing through. So I'm thinking about, uh, the things I've been working on to make it work technically, like what I need. Like in that last run, I've been still missing there's this one lead. And last night I was working with, okay, just look at the note that you need to play. So I was trying to remember to do that. And then the scale was falling apart. So I was trying to think of, sometimes I'm thinking those sorts of things, like sort of like, nuts and bolts and plumbing kinds of things. And a lot of the time I'm more thinking about the phrasing, which is nice. That's a lot more fun than what I was just describing. But sometimes, then I have other thoughts that are not helpful, like, oh, here comes the part that you've been screwing up for the last 3 days. Don't forget this part. That is so not helpful because, thinking to yourself, don't do something. Well, of course, then you're going to do it, right? Like, don't think about a purple elephant immediately. Boom, right in your mind, a purple elephant pops into view. So, those sorts of thoughts are not helpful. So I do practice trying to, I did in the past already discover what are good thoughts for me to think in various sections so that um, it's like I have an organizing thread. I'm just going to think about whatever, this certain line, like the left hand thumb is making a certain melody. I'm just going to track that melody. Or there's one spot that I didn't do so well where it's kind of the end of the slow section and it gets back into this. And I got confused about the harmonies, so I need to review those some more because that's what I found worked there was to just think about the harmonies. Um, so that sort of thing. So that's kind of like working on my performance script is how I would describe that. And it's a very effective thing because if you don't train your mind what you want it to think about, it's going to just go wandering off and get into all sorts of trouble. So there's that. Like that first, when I got to this, and then I was like, oh no, I don't know what to play. I mean, if I had $1 for every time I play that, boy, I could retire right now. But suddenly, boom, I couldn't, I hadn't thought about this. And then I didn't land on that. And then that was it. It's like, you miss the step and boom, you fall down the stairs. So anyway, those things are very instructive, and it's nice to have those things happen at home. Not in this case, not only, it's not just me hearing them, it's other people here on the lives are hearing them, but hopefully it's instructive to you to hear the process. And then sometimes I'm thinking other unhelpful thoughts. Like, I wonder what certain person is thinking about this. I'm thinking, I hope this other person really likes this that possibly might be listening. Again, it's so not helpful, right? Because I'm not in what it is that I'm doing. So, yeah, as I said, it was very instructive. I will probably be watching it on YouTube if it didn't record on Instagram and taking notes because that's much better than trying to play it through and then while you're playing through try to remember where you're messing up. That's really really talk about tying yourself in knots. Really hard to do. Here's somebody, Jones the Ripper. Hey, what are you ripping? Thank you for the epic performance compliment. I appreciate that. Okay. And sometimes I just get into the emotion of the piece, which is really great, but I can't let it get so intense that I kind of get overcome by emotion, which I am definitely prone to. So it's a little bit of a delicate, takes some time living with the piece to it's like an actor, right? An actor that I don't know much about acting, but you can't get so involved if it's some really tragic scene. You can't get so involved with crying that you forget your lines. You have to remember that you're still an actor. That's kind of the same thing with the piece, right? It's expressing something. It's not like you don't want to feel it, but you don't want to get so involved with feeling it that you can't keep going and keep place in where you are in this very complex structure. Okay, that's enough talking about that. All right, what's my time like? I think I'm gonna set my timer and do the starting the impromptu thing over and over because that wasn't so great, or I wasn't that happy with it. Maybe it was okay, but I didn't like it. I also I'm often working with myself to try not to be um, harsh. Like, well, that really sucked. I try not to say those kinds of things to myself. I say, oh, because I wouldn't say that to anyone else. I don't want to say that to myself. Um, so that was not my best, or I really didn't like how that went, or what I really didn't like about that part was when I did blah blah, when the left hand was this and the right hand was that. Something specific. That's something that I can then work on rather than just sort of beating myself up. Doesn't help. Doesn't help anything. All right. So starting the impromptu, kind of a little like wiped out from doing all that. Yeah, I'll figure out what I'm going to do after that. Okay. What I noticed when I listened to the recording was like you couldn't really hear the right hand because it was too thick, and I think it was the pedaling, and then the right hand notes weren't even to me. So I'm trying to make that better. And Chopin has it marked that it starts with that little trill and then it gets louder, which is not how I would normally think to do it, but I try to do that. So. Oh wait, that's lots of pedal. Now this is no pedal. That's what's marked. Now, I get to pedal here. I often miss that note. Okay, I'm not starting it anymore. I'm practicing it. Let's try. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I remember now. I made a list and checked it twice to find out which passages are the most not nice. And they have numbers. I don't know, you probably can't read my writing, but they have numbers. And there's only 7 of them. So I was going through my notes on my class that I had with Molly Gabrian, it was a fantastic class. I think she started it again, or she's starting it again. She has a website, and if it's something that works for you in terms of the time commitment and the cost, it's really excellent. I highly recommend it. Anyway, and I was looking over her notes, and she was saying with the sections on the random number thing, it's not the whole piece. It's just the treble spots. And then we're going to try to go through those and play those successfully. Oops, it's about to rain again. Okay, well, whatever. So let's do my random number thingy, which is here. Yes, okay, generate. Which one is 7? Generate. Okay, what do we got? We got 7. Okay, and that is in the Clara Schumann piece. Okay, Clara Schumann. And it is this one. I need my page turner. Okay. And tempo. Not the. Okay, where is it? There. Tempo. Okay. Go away. All right. Oops. Okay, the page turner's not working. Let's try again. Why are you not working? Bluetooth problems. Love those Bluetooth problems. Cancel. Bluetooth. Bluetooth. Okay. Bluetooth on. That's good. Yeah, I know it's not connected. I want it to be connected. Okay. Okay. I am not going to torture you guys watching me do this. Turning Bluetooth off. I'll just maybe just play the first page or something. Not sure. Okay. Well, I was happy with that. It wasn't perfect, but I was definitely happy with it. And that's my goal here with this: is to practice playing it in a way that I'm okay. That that works. I like that. I like. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, generate a new number 6. Oh darn! This is my least favorite thing to play. Uh, okay, tempo. Yup. I think I was going to go slightly faster than that. Okay. All right. No, I was not happy with that because I got confused with the memory in spite of having the music right in front of me. And that's because I wasn't looking at the music. Um, so I'm doing this thing where I give it a tick mark if it's okay, and I take the tick mark away if it isn't okay. Um, just makes me feel like I'm doing something, I'm accomplishing something, which is important with practicing. It's easy to get overwhelmed because the progress can feel so incredibly slow that you feel like you're just not accomplishing anything, and then it's very discouraging, hard to focus. Okay, number 1, another of my I would say my second least favorite thing to play. Okay, let's go from here. Because this is where I got to this part, I was a little shaky. Half a check? I don't know. I'm gonna give it a check. I do want to practice that again right now. What was it? I didn't like the end of the scale. The octaves are okay because it was like it didn't sound like that. It sounded more like the right notes were there and then some wrong ones also. Um, so I'm just gonna play it again more slowly. Once I get to there, I can accelerate. Usually successfully. All right, next random number generator. Uh, okay, 7. Oh, okay, back where we started. Okay, let's see if my Bluetooth thing maybe is working better because that screwed it up, not having a page turner. Okay, turn it on. Usually this thing has no trouble at all pairing, so it's a little unusual. Oh, it's not turned on. That's the problem. Paired. This brand is a duo. I had a different brand, which I can't remember what the name is, that I did have trouble pairing it, and boy, that was a pain in the neck. And the other thing interesting about this pedal, right, or I think most Bluetooth pedals, you've got it can go either way, right? It can go forward or backwards, and I don't want it to ever go backwards. That would be a complete disaster. So I have the backwards one unplugged. I can't quite bring myself to chop it off because maybe maybe I'd use this pedal for some other thing besides turning pages in music. I don't know. I think one of the people in the Molly class had it set up to I think like change his metronome, which is handy. Uh, yeah, but I don't have that. Okay, and it's working. Great. No. I just turned out screwed up. And there was another part that wasn't good. I don't think this one's quite ready uh, for this procedure. I'm going to just play it again more slowly, kind of more practicing it. putting together there is, it's not, they aren't fitting well. It's confusing. No. My thumb doesn't feel good. Okay. I'm gonna stop. I'm kind of out of energy for now. I think it's time for me to stop. Thank you so much for joining me. This is another thing that happens with the running the pieces through. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but it gets so it doesn't take as much energy. I guess it's because your brain gets used to thinking through all those things. And then also, of course, I'll practice the parts that were more of a problem. And so the next day, usually those problems are less. Sometimes brand new ones pop up. But over time, gradually, there's fewer and fewer problems, and you get more and more used to what it is you need to think. And so the actual um, act of playing the whole thing through becomes much less fatiguing, which is good. That piece is the end of the program, so that's also nice. It would be difficult to play, a bunch of stuff after that. I mean, there's people out there that can play tons of things and never get tired, but I'm not. I'm not one of those people. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. And all this is in preparation for a live performance Monday the 20th, but I will be doing a streamed performance of the full program on January 18th, which is a Saturday night, and that's at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to stream it to Instagram and YouTube, Instagram has been misbehaving, so if you are in Instagram and get dumped off, you might want to bop on over to my YouTube channel, which is Rebecca Bogart Piano. All right, thanks for joining me, and maybe I'll see you next tomorrow. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Okay.